Could we see this match happen very, very soon? Well, by reports that Samoa Joe has left TNA Impact Wrestling and he is now a free agent, he could very well indeed rock up on NXT. Or he could very well go to New Japan Pro Wrestling and join the likes of the Bullet Club. Either way, I think the future is bright for Samoa Joe. But I have to admit, I was shocked when I heard the news yesterday. Yeah, it was reported via Twitter that he was potentially not going to re-sign with TNA, and then Joe confirmed it himself that he had decided to part ways with the company. Now, for me, coming off of the back of seeing TNA live at Wembley Arena, and they did put on a real phenomenal show, it was just shocking because he was part of the BDC, the Beatdown Clan, and this is a new faction that TNA have got going, and Joe is a feature piece of that group. And it was almost like Joe had a new lease of life because this crew are at the top level of the company, and it did feel like they were evolving this gang predominantly with the major storylines. So it's kind of odd that Joe decided to move on at this point. Now, don't get me wrong, TNA over the years have misused Joe. There was a moment at Lockdown, not last one, but the one before that, where Joe was actually in the world title picture, biting for the championship, and they should have crowned him champion that night, and they didn't. They went crazy. This was a moment, a real defining moment for them. They could have put Joe over. It was the simple thing to do, but TNA don't always like to do things the easy way, and they just kind of dropped the ball. And it leads to beg the question, have they dropped the ball again by letting go of one of their featured talents in Joe? It's almost deja vu again because it's AJ Styles all over. You know, they let AJ Styles leave because he went through the contract negotiations. It sounds like Joe went through the same process, and TNA offered him a lower contract than what he has at present. Joe got given the same, and obviously they didn't want to accept that, as anyone wouldn't. You know, if you're on a higher deal at the time, you're not going to take a lesser one, and TNA didn't budge, and this gave Joe no choice but to decide to move on or take the lower contract, and obviously I don't think he was going to do that. So, you know, does this mean that TNA again have made another mistake? It kind of does to me, because yes, I get the fact that you're going for the younger talent, but when you've got guys like Joe who are always over with the fans, they are a big draw for TNA. You know, you try and retain these guys no matter what. You pull out all the stops to keep them a part of your roster. And for me, over the years, the way TNA have kind of just let these guys slip through their hands, it's wrong. They've let AJ Styles go, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, you know, and now Joe is another big name to go out the window. To be honest, I would have rather kept Kazarian, Daniels, Styles, Joe, and let a bigger name like a Kurt Angle go, because I feel that these guys could have done more for the company than Kurt Angle can do now, as much as I like Kurt Angle. But nevertheless, he has indeed moved on. So guys, get in the comments box below and let me know your views. If you're a TNA fan as well, I want to get your views on, do you think it's the right move that TNA have just again let go someone like Samoa Joe, almost a part of the furniture for TNA over the years? They've also recently released Velvet Sky. She's been very vocal about her departure, and again she was vocal about Joe's as well, saying that, you know, TNA is not the same place that it was anymore. So is it for better or for worse the way that TNA have decided to change things? You know, they're with Destination America. I thought they were on the up, but it's just a strange decision to not really pull out the stops to keep a guy like Joe. Sounds like that one day he can make his return, but it's just questionable at the moment. So let's look at the future for Joe. I mean, for him, he's probably going to have options on the table. He's not a spring chicken, so it will be interesting to see if WWE are interested. But I think if they were, they could really put on some great feuds. The likes of Joe versus Balor would be great. Joe, as you can see in the ring right now with Kevin Owens, I mean, that would just be a hard-hitting smash mouth action match, to say the least. And you know, I think these two have the perfect strong styles to match each other. But it all depends if WWE are interested. So do you think that TNA have dropped the ball and it could be WWE's game with NXT picking up Joe? Maybe. And the other option for Joe is really to do what AJ Styles did. Go over to New Japan Pro Wrestling and become a part of the Bullet Club. It's the in thing to do these days, and it hasn't hurt AJ Styles' career at all. AJ Styles a multi-time champion since going to New Japan. So Joe, again, with that strong style, that would suit him perfectly to go to Japan and join the likes of the Bullet Club with your Carl Andersons and co. So it really is open to debate now. What is going to happen with Samoa Joe? Where is he going to go? He's a free agent, and I'd say he's a hot prospect for a company to pick up. Ring of Honor, of course, will be in the mix, definitely. I'm sure that they will be interested to pick up Joe. But I think the big talking point is if WWE will be looking at this and whether they'll have any vested interest. Now, many people are already writing that off and saying that, well, Joe's, he's aging and he's not the sort of guy WWE would want. But, recent weeks have seen the likes of Rhino rock up at the NXT arena. And, if you can see this right now, Joe putting on the choke on Kevin Owens. Is Kevin Owens going to survive? Or is he going to lose his title right now? Well, it is over. And, this video is all about Samoa Joe, so that was bound to happen. But, I want to get your views on all of this because I'm still quite shocked that Joe has left TNA. And I'm just interested to where he goes next. Let me know by the comments box below all your views and opinions on this shocking news. Samoa Joe has left TNA and he's looking for a new home.